Four guys that are up, you want to get up there? Coach Moore.
You guys can take your mask off. Sorry. That's the thing. So you're hungry. So yeah, can you talk loud? Can you hear? Like, say something, George. If you answer.
What's up?
We don't need a mic. Okay. So I'm going to have each of these. All four of these guys are seniors, so they've been a part of the program for a number of years. And so I'm going to have them. I'll have them go down the line and they can introduce themselves. If you want to say where you're from originally, and then if you want to share with us your major, and then if you just want to talk, maybe, a couple sentences, 30 seconds, whatever, about kind of what Northwestern football has been for you, or, what you appreciate about it, or, kind of lead with that. So Levi, I don't know if you want to.
Yeah, for sure. I'm Levi Johnson. I'm, like Coach Moore said, I'm actually a super senior here with me and Georgie, and I'm from about a mile that way, Arden Hills, Minnesota, is where I grew up. Like I said, I'm an engineering student. And the thing that I really appreciated about Northwestern football over, I believe, any other program, but I haven't really been to any other colleges, they really focus on the development of manhood. You get to play football in college for 4 years, but you're a man until you die. So we train, we lift and such, but we also are brought up in godliness.
Yeah, I'm George. I'm from Florence, Arizona, which is, the weather's a lot different than it is here. I'm a kinesiology, health and fitness major, super senior like Levi. I think Northwestern football, kind of have to like it. I've been in the program for 5 years. But what it's meant to me, I've built some of like the best friendships I've ever had. Guys that are going to be standing next to me in my wedding someday. And just like Levi said, they're not just building young men and great football players, but they're also building us into godly husbands, godly fathers, and just leaders in our community.
Hi, I'm Daryl Miles. I'm from New Orleans, Louisiana. I'm a pre-med bio major. I'm a senior. The one thing I loved about Northwestern is how it's been a culture shock for sure, coming to cold weather, but it's really kept me grounded. They've done everything in their power to help me out, help my family out, and just work to our success and just making sure that we're all good here. And just the guys, I love hanging out with the guys in the campus. It's a beautiful campus with a bunch of great people on it. I stood in a wedding with these two, and they'll probably be in mine, so it's lifelong things that go on with this campus, and what you pour into it, you'll definitely get out.
I'm Noah Nightingale. I'm from Holland, Michigan, a senior. Just kind of tagging off of these guys. It's probably one of the biggest things about Eagle football is the relationships you're going to build and how much you're going to grow as a man and later as a husband and as a leader overall. And you learn so much more than just football, and then we also go out and compete, which is the important thing. And it's a good time.
What about a top memory each of you might have? So,
Coach, I don't know if we can share something.
top memory that's appropriate. Sorry. Levi doesn't have to go first. If somebody has one.
Thanks, Coach. I appreciate that.
Claremont?
It's hard to narrow it all down.
I will say Coach Moore coming out in really the uniforms to us that
Oh
one
my
practice.
God.
That was epic. He just walks out in the shoulder pads and the jersey and the pants. He's like, "Oh yeah, this is what you're wearing." Pulls out his pair and have the yellow pants. We're like, it's just. I think someone has done a video, but all of us freaked out. We're like, "Oh, okay, this is legit."
I look good in that uniform too.
I think one of my favorite memories of Northwestern football, and I feel like it might be the same way for these guys. It doesn't have to do with on the field, but it was after the Claremont game in California. Just going out and grabbing in and out at. I'm an early to bed kind of person, so when we went out at 10:30, I was like about to fall fall asleep. But just going out, for me, a late night with the guys and just grabbing some burgers after a game it's just something I won't forget.
I think my favorite memory, our road trips are a blast. We get to stay in a hotel overnight before a game. And my freshman year, I was in a room with 3 other guys, and it was like 9 o'clock, and we were super hungry, and there was a gas station about a mile away. So we left the hotel, walked to the gas station, and all of us were like carrying our bags of all our goodies, and we're running back to the hotel, and there's a train coming. And so we're all trying to get past the tracks. I don't know if you know this. We're all running, trying to get past the tracks, and like I'm like the one that's like, I'm not about to get hit by the train, so I'm just walking, letting them go, let the train pass. But it was just a good time.
I think probably my favorite memories is on the Greenville trip games. We always stop at Steak and Shake after game, or not after, before the night before games. And that was a fun tradition that I think kind of got started a little bit. So
Going to the
that was a
movie
fun time.
with Peyton talking the whole time.
And Coach Miller.
Coach Miller.
Talk about what is it like doing practice during the week with school and things like that. You don't all have to answer that, but
It's my favorite
little
part.
insight about what it's like kind of being a college student, things like that.
It's my favorite part of the day. Like, when I get to go and just run around, hit somebody, and catch a ball is just a great break from sitting in class, doing homework. Like, you wake up at 7, 8 a.m. and you're grinding, doing homework, or at class until 3 o'clock, and then you just get to put pads on and run. It's a great break, great for my like just mental health, and it gives me the ability to kind of hit the schoolwork big once I get back after practice.
Would you say being in a sport hurts you academically, or
No, absolutely.
I'm kind of set this
Definitely.
one, like team
No, I
this
just
one up.
said it,
Yeah, it definitely.
So
Being in a sport helps because like you're on a consistent schedule. Go to classes during the day, go to practice afterwards, and then you're getting your homework done at night. And so, I mean, you gotta stay eligible to play. I mean, I've been in the program for 5 years, so there's a reason I kind of slacked off my freshman year. But it wasn't in season; it was the off season where I fell behind. So it's just that motivation to stay eligible to be able to play and suit up every Saturday.
You get that accountability from other guys on the team too,
Yeah.
to make sure you stay eligible there. And I know my freshman year, George and I were on top of each other for the most part. And it was, you need that as a freshman. I would find, no matter where you go, it's definitely find somebody to keep you accountable. Because that transition from high school to college classes it can be a big jump for a lot of people.
I think Daryl, you're the only one who's done more than one sport here.
Yeah, I'm a two-sport athlete right now. I also do track and field here. I'm one of the leaders. Being in a sport year-round is great. I have a system, I have a schedule. It really helps my time management skills, and it really has helped me get accustomed to being present when I have to be and being in every situation, taking advantage of it. Definitely being present at every moment in life has been one of the biggest lessons. And it's like super nice just helping out people, asking for help and actually getting it. And like being around the guys and being around my other teammates if I can. It's super fun.
Kind of open up. If anybody else has a question, I kind of got you.
Would you guys mind talking a little bit about this retreat that happens before camp starts?
Which parts?
Yeah, I mean, I'm so grateful, excited to be able to be a part of it this upcoming year, and so I haven't been able to experience it, and so I'd love to hear a little bit more about it.
Somebody describe it first, and
Grateful.
It's kind of indescribable.
No, George, go.
Go ahead.
Grease of watermelon.
There's really like coming in from high school to college, you don't really experience anything like breakaway. I mean, we go up to this camp for about 2 or 3 days, and it's really just a lot of team building, a lot of relationship building. You're in a cabin with a couple guys, like the seniors will like draft teams, and that's kind of the guys you're hanging out with all breakaway. And we do competitions against one another, like greasing up a watermelon and throwing it in the lake, It's, breakaway, I would say, is like probably one of the best things we do.
Breakaway is definitely like the first little taste of culture shock. You're just wondering what's happening and why someone has peanut butter on them. You're just like, I don't know if I want to be here, but it's like, but then you get
Why are we
really,
singing right now?
yeah, why are we singing? And then late at night, you're like, why are we having rap battles? That aren't even rap battles. It's not Friday. But it's definitely a great time. We've had a couple guys get baptized up while we were at camp. I think Damon's one. It was super, super nice to be a part of that and just be surrounded by our brothers and just know that we can walk with them in life in that part. There's a lot of things that happen at Breakaway. We do practice, but practice is not the main focus. It's more about hanging out with the guys, getting to know them, and kind of submerging yourself really quickly. Because by the time we get back to campus, everyone's like, yeah, everyone's like, how do you guys know each other so well? Like, well, we kind of spent like 2 or 3 days in the cabin with each other, so.
What would you, how would you compare practice here versus practice in high school for what you would have thought it was gonna be, or, you know what I mean, like? Is that a good question?
It's more intense in its own way. So
Yeah.
it's, when, you know, a lot of people, you don't fully understand that, you know, college football is still, it's a lot of contact and a lot, but it's a lot of smart contact. You're gonna learn more about technique and, just the mental part of the game in your freshman, sophomore year than you've ever learned in your entire high school career. You know, I feel like a lot of high school football is just, it's hit, you know, it's hit, it's less on the mental side. But yeah, so you're definitely, it's more intense in its own way.
It's like a fast-paced chess game. It's like very fast-paced, like to where it takes a while to get used to, but once you're going, you're like, okay, we're doing this for this reason. We have a reason, we have a system in place. And it gets super fun because you're running around, you don't realize how tired you are until you stop and you're like, coach, give me a second, I'll be there 1 minute, I'm gonna grab some water, I'll be out there for special teams. And especially fun with Coach Moore is waiting on us for special teams. We just got done doing defensive circuit. We're gassed, and Coach Moore's like, "Oh, come run punt." And I'm like, "Coach, I got asthma. Give me a second. Let me catch my breath."
I was asking Jacob, what's another good one? So he asked about, what about the coaches, like relationships with the coaches or relating with the coaches? What would you think? Like, I'll do your notes if you want. But what would you say about that? And maybe if it's different than high school, what you've experienced?
I think the coaches, like, they're all in your corner. Like, I've developed, like, some great relationships with them. Like, they're gonna have your back, they're gonna point you to Christ. Like, I mean, there's a time, like, when I've been crying in Coach Moore's office and he's hugged me. I think that's, like, one of the most impactful memories I have in the program. It's just that moment. But they're always gonna be rooting for you, they're gonna be pushing you towards Christ, and sometimes they're gonna be challenging you to do better. So,
I think one of my favorite things that Coach Moore is, you guys will hear this on the first day of Breakaway, that these coaches are really gonna love on you. They absolutely want the best for you. But sometimes that love is a hug, and sometimes that love is a kick. And so it's, you know, it's really, really great. Yeah, there's, like George said, they're all in your corner. They want the very best for you.
Yeah, it's really interesting having Coach Miller and then all the way down to like Trevor, because we played with Trevor and then Coach Stratton, who's another one of the coaches, and just seeing like how each one of those relationships foster themselves. Me and Coach Miller have a really close relationship. He's always been my corner, always texting me, letting me know that he loves me, he cares about me, and it means a lot. We often don't hear it as much as we should, but just knowing that the coaches tell you that frequently starts building that trust and that deep care, and it's different. It's completely different than what you'll experience in a lot of places.
Any other questions? Moms, dads, players? Trevor? I appreciate it, guys. So these guys will all be around. all these players. So I would say, to me, the most valuable resource we have is these guys. So, you know, it's a fantastic institution. There's a lot of great things, but the people are what makes it great. And these guys are what make our football team great. So, recruits that are here, I would tell you, ask them as much as you can, get to know them a little bit, see if you want to be around them. So, because that's really the key deal here. So, we're going to kind of transition now over into tours. And then after tours, we've got a nice lunch set up for everybody. So again, if anybody needs anything, let us know. I will turn it over to Maggie here, and she can direct you guys where you head next.
Good morning, guys. I am just